Habits of wealthy people. If you don't want to be an ordinary person, watch this video. Published by Audiobooks Journal YouTube channel. Who is this book for? This book is for anyone who's tired of watching wealth feel like a game only the lucky few get to play. It's for the dreamers who want to turn ambition into action. It's for the hustlers who are already grinding but feel stuck on a treadmill, running fast but not moving forward. If you've ever caught yourself saying, "I work hard, but I don't see the results," this book is for you. If you've ever looked at wealthy people and wondered, "What are they doing differently that I'm not?" this book is your answer. It's not about where you were born, what family you come from, or how much money you have right now. Wealthy habits are learnable, repeatable, and available to anyone willing to shift their mindset and put in the work. So whether you're just starting out in life, building your career, running your own business, or even trying to reset after years of financial struggle, this book is for you. It's for anyone ready to break the cycle, stop making excuses, and finally create a life of freedom, abundance, and lasting success. Chapter 1. Think rich before you get rich. Every great transformation begins in the mind. Wealth is no different. Long before a person has a fat bank account, luxury cars, or the freedom to choose how they spend their days, they have already built wealth in their head. Thinking rich comes before becoming rich. It is not magic, and it is not luck. It is a mindset, a way of seeing the world, of seeing yourself, and of believing in possibilities when others only see limits. The difference between someone who struggles financially all their life and someone who eventually creates financial abundance often has less to do with intelligence or effort and more to do with mindset. Picture two people with the same job, the same paycheck, and the same opportunities. One keeps thinking, "I'll never make it. I just need to survive. I don't deserve more." The other one says, "This is just the beginning. I'm learning skills, I'm building a foundation, and I know I can multiply this." Over the years, the first person remains stuck while the second one grows, invests, and builds wealth. The difference is not the circumstances, it is the way they think about themselves and about money. Thinking rich is not about daydreaming of luxury without action. It is about rewiring your beliefs to allow wealth into your life. Many people unconsciously sabotage themselves because deep down they believe money is bad, rich people are greedy, or that success is only for others. These hidden beliefs become invisible walls that block growth. If you want to become rich, you first have to break down those mental walls. Let's be real, most people are raised with limiting money stories. Maybe you grew up hearing, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "Rich people are crooks," or "We can't afford that." Those phrases sink into your subconscious and shape the way you behave as an adult. If you believe money is evil, you will never truly chase it. If you believe rich people are corrupt, you will resist becoming one. The first step to thinking rich is identifying these limiting beliefs and replacing them with empowering ones. Instead of "money is hard to get," you need to tell yourself, "Money flows to those who create value." Instead of "We can't afford that," you can ask, "How can I afford it?" That small shift opens your brain to solutions instead of dead ends. Another powerful part of thinking rich is having a vision. Wealthy people do not wander through life without direction. They have a clear picture of where they are going. Before Elon Musk built Tesla or SpaceX, he imagined a world where people drive electric cars and travel to Mars. Before Oprah Winfrey became a billionaire media mogul, she pictured herself as someone who could touch lives on a massive scale. Vision is the seed of wealth. If you cannot imagine yourself wealthy, you will never act like someone who deserves it. You have to see it, believe it, and then pursue it relentlessly. But thinking rich is not just about positive affirmations. It is also about responsibility. Wealthy people think in terms of ownership, not blame. When something goes wrong, they ask, "What can I do to change this?" Not "Who is at fault?" That mindset gives them control. Poor thinking blames the economy, the government, the boss, or bad luck. Rich thinking takes ownership and looks for opportunities. The person who thinks rich believes that, even in crisis, there is a way forward. They look at problems and see chances to solve them, to add value and to grow stronger. Thinking rich also means valuing time differently. Poor thinking trades time for money without end, always working harder but never smarter. Rich thinking understands that time is the most precious asset. Wealthy people look for leverage, for ways to make money work for them instead of working endlessly for money. They invest, they build systems, they create businesses, they train teams. This starts with a mental shift. Instead of asking, "How much does this cost?" they ask, "What is the return on this investment?" That question changes everything, not only in business, but in life. Another critical habit of rich thinkers is abundance mentality. A scarcity mindset believes there is not enough to go around. It says, "If you win, I lose." It fears competition. It clings to what little it has. Abundance thinking says, there's enough wealth, opportunities, and success for everyone. It celebrates others' wins because it knows another person's success does not reduce yours. In fact, by learning from others, networking with them, or partnering with them, you grow faster. The wealthy do not fear someone else's progress. They look for ways to collaborate and expand the pie. Let's talk about self-image, because it is at the core of thinking rich. If you see yourself as someone destined to struggle, you will act in ways that confirm that belief. If you see yourself as a creator, a leader, a problem solver who deserves abundance, you will naturally act with confidence and boldness. Wealthy people project confidence, not because they were born with it, but because they decided to believe in themselves long before the results showed up. Self-image is like an inner thermostat. If you only see yourself as someone who can earn a little, you will subconsciously sabotage when money grows beyond that. To raise your wealth, you must raise your identity. The truth is, thinking rich requires courage. It is not easy to think big when people around you think small. Friends or family might laugh, doubt, or criticize when you talk about building wealth. They might call you unrealistic. But remember, the crowd is almost always wrong about money. If you want extraordinary results, you cannot think like the majority. Wealth requires daring to think differently, to dream bigger, and to persist even when others tell you to settle. One of the strongest practices you can adopt is visualization. Every day, spend a few minutes picturing the life you want in detail. Imagine walking into your dream house, traveling to the places you want, giving generously to causes you care about. Feel what it would be like. Your brain begins to accept this vision as possible, and you start making decisions that align with it. Athletes use visualization to win championships. Entrepreneurs use it to launch businesses. You can use it to train your mind to expect wealth. Thinking rich also means expecting challenges. Wealthy people are not shocked when obstacles appear, they plan for them. They know setbacks are part of the journey. Poor thinking collapses at the first sign of struggle. Rich thinking says, "This is a test, and I'll grow stronger from it." Every successful person has faced rejection, failure, and doubt. What separates them is the mindset that sees failure as feedback, not final defeat. Let's not ignore the role of gratitude. It may sound strange to connect gratitude with wealth, but it is essential. Scarcity thinking focuses on what's missing. Abundance thinking, and therefore wealthy thinking, focuses on what's already there. When you appreciate what you have, you train your brain to see possibilities instead of lack. Gratitude keeps you from falling into envy or bitterness, and it attracts more opportunities. Wealthy people are often grateful long before they are rich, and that gratitude fuels their energy to create more. Now let's talk about boldness. Thinking rich makes you bolder and taking calculated risks. The average person avoids risk because they fear losing what little they have. The wealthy thinker asks, what is the risk of not acting? They understand that playing safe can sometimes be the biggest danger. If you always think small, you stay small. But when you think rich, you give yourself permission to go after bigger opportunities. That does not mean gambling blindly. It means studying, preparing, and then acting with courage. Thinking rich also redefines failure. For poor thinking, failure is a stop sign. For rich thinking, failure is simply part of the process. Wealthy people fail more than most because they attempt more than most. Each failure becomes a lesson, a stepping stone towards success. When you think rich, you see setbacks as tuition you pay for the education of success. There is another hidden part of rich thinking, contribution. Many wealthy people do not just think about money for themselves. They think about impact. They ask, how can I create value for others? Money is the byproduct of value creation. The bigger the problem you solve, the more wealth flows to you. When you focus on serving, your thinking expands beyond selfish needs and opportunities multiply. Rich thinking is not about hoarding, it is about expanding. So, how do you start thinking rich today, even if your bank account is empty? First, become aware of your money beliefs. Write down every negative thought you have about wealth and rewrite it into an empowering one. Second, create a vision board or a written description of your wealthy life and review it daily. Third, practice gratitude for what you already have because it primes your mind for abundance. Fourth, study the habits and stories of wealthy people. Learn how they think, how they talk, how they act. Surround yourself with those influences. Finally, take small daily actions that align with your rich mindset. Even if it's saving a little, learning a new skill, or starting a side hustle, each step reinforces your new identity. Remember, wealth is not an accident. It is a reflection of consistent thinking and action over time. Before you can have millions in your bank, you must carry millions in your mind. Before you can own assets, you must own a wealthy vision. Before you can change your reality, you must change your beliefs. Thinking rich is the foundation, the seed, the spark that ignites everything else. Without it, no amount of hustle will keep you rich. With it, even setbacks cannot stop you. So decide today, start thinking like a wealthy person. Carry yourself with confidence. See possibilities instead of limitations. Believe in abundance. Take ownership. Value your time. Build your vision. When your mind becomes rich, your reality will follow. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. It really helps me create more content for you. Thank you. Chapter 2. Discipline beats motivation. Every time. Motivation feels exciting. It's the spark, the rush of energy, the voice in your head shouting, "Yes, let's do this." Motivation gets you out of bed early one morning, has you write a to-do list, or inspires you to hit the gym with fire in your veins. But motivation is unreliable. It fades as quickly as it arrives. One bad day, one sleepless night, one piece of bad news, and the motivation that once felt unstoppable disappears. If you rely only on motivation, your goals will rise and fall with your moods. That is why wealthy people, successful people, and high achievers don't build their lives on motivation. They build them on discipline. Discipline is what carries you when motivation vanishes. It's not exciting. It doesn't feel glamorous. It's often repetitive, boring, and uncomfortable. But discipline is the reason athletes train even when it rains, entrepreneurs keep working when business is slow, and investors stay consistent when markets crash. Discipline means showing up whether you feel like it or not. And in the long run, discipline always beats motivation. Let's be honest. Everyone loves the idea of success. Everyone loves the thought of financial freedom, health, or building a life of abundance. But very few are willing to do the work consistently, especially when the initial excitement dies. That's why gyms are full in January and half empty in March. That's why people start projects but abandon them weeks later. That's why dreams die quietly in the hearts of people who once shouted about them with passion. Motivation gets you started. Discipline gets you finished. Think about the wealthy. Do you believe every wealthy person wakes up excited I save 20% of my income automatically. You just follow the system. This You need to develop skills that make you valuable. Skills are portable wealth. Even if you lose everything, your skills go with you. That's why wealthy people never fear starting over. They know they can rebuild because their skills are intact. Investing in yourself also means upgrading your health. What good is wealth if you don't have the energy or the body to enjoy it? Successful people treat their health as an asset, not an afterthought. They exercise, eat well, and care for their mental state because they understand that a strong body and a clear mind multiply productivity. A person with high energy can achieve more in a day than someone exhausted and sluggish can do in a week. Wealth is created through consistent action, and consistent action requires energy. Your health is your wealth. Let's talk about mindset. Investing in yourself means rewiring your thinking. If you carry limiting beliefs, if you constantly doubt yourself, if you think wealth is not for you, then no amount of external investment will help. Wealthy people spend time, effort, and sometimes money on mentors, coaches, and environments that sharpen their mindset. They know that their outer world reflects their inner world. When you upgrade your thinking, your life follows. If you see yourself as valuable, you will create value. If you see yourself as capable, you will take bold actions. If you see abundance, you will find opportunities everywhere. Another part of self-investment is relationships. The people you spend time with shape your habits, your thoughts, and your future. Wealthy people are intentional about who they surround themselves with. They invest time and effort into building networks of like-minded, driven, and ambitious individuals. They seek mentors who can guide them, peers who can challenge them, and students they can teach. This circle of growth multiplies their opportunities. If you want to invest in yourself, start by investing in better relationships. Seek out rooms where people are smarter, wealthier, or more disciplined than you. Their energy will pull you upward. Let's get practical. How can you start investing in yourself today, even if you don't have much money? First, read. Books are some of the cheapest yet most powerful investments you can make. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can access the wisdom of people who spent decades mastering their craft. Second, take online courses or attend workshops. The internet has made world-class knowledge available to anyone with a connection. Third, practice. Learning without application is useless. Whatever skill you want, practice it consistently. Fourth, improve your health with habits that cost nothing, like walking, stretching, drinking water, and sleeping properly. Fifth, guard your mind by controlling what you consume. Instead of endless scrolling through negativity, feed your brain with content that fuels growth. Wealthy people often spend money to speed up self-investment. They hire coaches because a good coach can save years of trial and error. They attend seminars because one idea from the right environment can change everything. They buy books, courses, and memberships because they know the return on investment is massive. You don't need to start with big spending, but you do need to adopt the mindset that money spent on growth is not an expense. It's the best investment you can make. Investing in yourself also means learning emotional control. Wealthy people understand that emotions drive decisions, and uncontrolled emotions destroy wealth. Greed leads to reckless risks. Fear leads to missed opportunities. Anger damages relationships. Discipline, patience, and self-awareness are emotional skills, and they can be trained. Meditation, journaling, therapy, or simply practicing awareness are all ways of investing in your emotional intelligence. The higher your emotional intelligence, the more effectively you can navigate challenges, negotiations, and opportunities. Think about the long-term impact of self-investment. Imagine two people starting from the same point. One spends money only on entertainment, luxuries, and temporary pleasures. The other spends on books, courses, mentors, and health. Fast forward 10 years. The first person has memories of fun but little to show in terms of growth. The second person has skills, networks, health, and confidence that open doors to wealth and opportunities everywhere. Self-investment compounds over time. What feels like a small step today becomes a giant advantage tomorrow. Another powerful way to invest in yourself is through confidence building. Confidence is not magic. It comes from preparation, competence, and small wins that accumulate. Wealthy people build confidence by constantly challenging themselves, learning and practicing until they trust their abilities. Confidence attracts opportunities. People want to work with, invest in, and follow those who radiate confidence. When you invest in yourself, confidence becomes natural because you know you have the skills and the knowledge to back it up. Don't forget creativity. In a world full of competition, creativity is the edge. It's the ability to see opportunities others miss, to connect ideas in new ways, to innovate. Investing in yourself means giving your creativity space to grow. By reading widely, traveling, exposing yourself to new experiences, and allowing time for reflection. Many breakthroughs come not from working harder, but from thinking differently. Creativity multiplies the value of everything else you know. Now let's address excuses. Many people say, I don't have time to invest in myself. But time is not something you find. It is something you create. If you can spend hours on social media, television, or gossip, you can spend that time building yourself. Others say, I don't have money. But investing in yourself is not only about money. Reading, exercising, journaling, practicing skills, these cost little or nothing. The truth is, excuses are just another way of saying, I don't value myself enough to invest. Wealthy people never say they can't afford self-investment. They ask, how can I afford it? They find ways because they know the return is priceless. Investing in yourself also creates resilience. Life will test you. Businesses fail, economies crash, jobs disappear. But when you've invested in yourself, you're never truly broken. You can rebuild because you carry the knowledge, the mindset, and the skills within you. This is why wealthy people fear failure less. Their wealth is not just in the bank. It is in their brain and their habits. Take away their money, and they'll rebuild it again. Here's the ultimate truth. No one can take away what you put into yourself. Markets can fall, assets can vanish, but your personal growth stays with you forever. That is why the best investment you can ever make is not in the stock market, not in property, not in gold. It is in you. So decide today. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect paycheck, the perfect opportunity. Begin investing in yourself right now. Read that book. Take that course. Practice that skill. Exercise your body. Train your mind. Build your network. Upgrade your mindset. Every step you take toward investing in yourself multiplies your future wealth. Wealthy people are not lucky. They are prepared. And preparation comes from self-investment. The more you grow, the more capable you become of spotting opportunities, seizing them, and turning them into wealth. If you want the world to invest in you, show that you are worth investing in. The journey to wealth is not about what you acquire, but about who you become. Become the person who can handle wealth, and wealth will come. Invest in yourself first, and everything else will follow. Chapter 4. Money loves clarity. Money is not mysterious. It is not magical. It is not something reserved for the chosen few. Money follows rules. And one of the most important rules is this: money flows toward clarity and runs away from confusion. If you are unclear about your financial goals, unclear about your spending, unclear about your debts, unclear about your income streams, then money will slip through your hands like water. But if you create clarity, clear goals, clear systems, clear numbers, money begins to work for you. Most people struggle financially, not because they are lazy, but because they are fuzzy. They don't know exactly how much they spend each month. They don't know where their money is going. They don't know what their financial goals really are. They say, I want to be rich, but they can't define what rich means for them. And because their vision is vague, their actions are vague. And vague actions never create wealth. Wealthy people know that clarity is power. They don't just hope to be rich. They define what rich looks like for them in detail. They know how much money they want, by when, and for what purpose. Clarity begins with knowing your numbers. Imagine trying to win a game without keeping score. That's how most people treat money. They play the game of life, but never measure the points. Wealthy people treat money like a game they intend to win. They track their income, their expenses, their assets, and their debts. They know exactly what comes in and exactly what goes out. This simple act of clarity gives them control. And control is the foundation of freedom. Think of your money as employees. If you owned a business and had employees running around without tasks, you'd be wasting resources. But if every employee had a clear job, the business would thrive. Your dollars are the same. Every dollar you earn should have a job. Save, invest, pay off debt, cover expenses, or fuel growth. When you give every dollar a purpose, money starts working for you instead of wandering off aimlessly. Another part of clarity is setting financial goals. You can't hit a target you can't see. If your only goal is "I want more money," you'll never feel satisfied. If you earn an extra $100, technically you have more money, but that won't change your life. Wealthy people set precise goals. I want to save $50,000 in the next 3 years. I want to own 2 investment properties in 5 years. I want to generate passive income of $10,000 a month by age 40. These clear goals guide their daily actions. When your goal is clear, your brain works like a GPS, finding routes to get you there. Clarity also means simplifying. Many people complicate money. They chase too many investments at once, follow contradictory advice, or overcomplicate budgets until they give up. Wealthy people simplify. They use straightforward systems to manage money. They automate savings and investments. They make decisions based on clear principles, not on emotions or rumors. Simplicity creates clarity, and clarity creates progress. Let's talk about budgeting. Most people think of budgets as restrictions. Wealthy people see budgets as tools of clarity. A budget is simply a plan for your money. Without a plan, money disappears. With a plan, money builds. Creating a budget does not mean you can't enjoy life. It means you enjoy life with awareness and control. A good budget shows you exactly where your money is going, so you can decide if it aligns with your goals. If you want wealth, every dollar must move you closer to freedom, not further away. Another part of money clarity is distinguishing between wants and needs. This is not about being cheap. It's about being clear on what truly adds value to your life. Wealthy people know the difference between spending to impress others and spending to improve their own lives. Clarity means you don't blindly follow consumer culture, buying things because everyone else is. You spend intentionally. You know what matters to you, and you direct money there. That is freedom. Clarity also applies to debt. Many people live in denial about their debt. They avoid looking at the numbers because it makes them uncomfortable. But avoidance creates confusion, and confusion makes the problem worse. Wealthy people face debt with clarity. They know exactly how much they owe, to whom, at what interest rate, and they create clear strategies to pay it down or leverage it wisely. When you shine a light on debt, it loses its power over you. But money clarity is not just about the present. It's also about the future. Wealthy people create clear visions for their financial future. They don't just think about next month. They think 10, 20, even 50 years ahead. They plan for retirement, for legacy, for future generations. They have clarity on how they want their wealth to serve them and others. This long-term clarity gives them direction, while most people drift through life without a financial map. Now let's discuss clarity in decision-making. Every day you are faced with financial choices. Do you spend or save? Do you invest here or there? Do you say yes or no? Without clarity, decisions are stressful. With clarity, decisions are simple. Wealthy people use clear criteria for decisions. For example, does this expense bring me closer to my goals? Does this investment align with my strategy? If not, the answer is no. Clarity turns decision-making from emotional guessing into logical progress. There's also clarity in income. Wealthy people don't just hope money will appear. They create clear income strategies. They know exactly how they earn money, how they can increase it, and how they can diversify it. If one stream slows, they have others. Most people rely on a single unclear source, their job, and hope for the best. Wealthy people build clear multiple streams of income because clarity brings security. Clarity also creates peace of mind. Think about the stress most people feel around money. That stress comes from uncertainty. They don't know if they can cover bills, don't know if they're saving enough, don't know if they're on track. Wealthy people may face challenges, but they rarely feel lost because they have clarity. They know exactly where they stand, and that knowledge gives them calm confidence. Let's get practical. How can you create money clarity right now? First, track everything. For 1 month, write down every dollar you spend and every dollar you earn. This simple act will shock you into awareness. Second, create a clear budget that reflects your goals, not just your habits. Third, set specific financial targets with deadlines. Fourth, review your debt and create a payoff plan. Fifth, start monitoring your net worth, your assets minus your liabilities, because this number shows your real progress. Sixth, review these numbers regularly, monthly or weekly, so you stay clear and in control. Wealthy people don't leave money clarity to chance. They use tools, systems, and sometimes financial advisors to keep everything organized. But even without fancy tools, you can create clarity with a notebook, a spreadsheet, or simple apps. The important part is not perfection, but consistency. Clarity comes from looking at your money regularly, not ignoring it. Another key aspect is aligning money clarity with your values. Money alone won't motivate you, but when you connect money goals to your deepest values, you gain unstoppable energy. For example, saving for your children's future, buying time freedom for your family, or creating impact through charitable giving. Wealthy people are clear about why they want money, not just how much. This why brings clarity to every decision. Clarity is also about honesty. Be brutally honest with yourself about your financial habits. Are you overspending? Are you avoiding savings? Are you wasting opportunities? Wealthy people don't lie to themselves about money. They face reality, even when it's uncomfortable, because clarity begins with truth. When you practice money clarity long enough, something powerful happens. You begin to feel empowered instead of anxious. You stop feeling like money controls you, and you start feeling like you control money. You make decisions with confidence. You pursue goals with precision. You build wealth not by accident, but by design. Remember this: confusion costs money. Every unclear decision, every vague goal, every ignored expense slowly bleeds your wealth. Clarity creates wealth. Wealthy people live by this principle. That's why they journal their goals, track their progress, review their numbers, and keep their vision sharp. They know that the clearer they are, the faster money flows to them. Money loves clarity because clarity shows respect. When you are clear with your money, you are telling it, I value you. I know what I want from you. I have a plan for you. And like any loyal partner, money responds to that respect. It stays, it grows, it multiplies. So ask yourself right now, do you have clarity with your money, or are you living in confusion? Do you know exactly what you want, where you stand, and how you'll get there? Or are you just hoping things will somehow work out? If your answer leans toward confusion, that's your signal. It's time to create clarity. Because in the end, wealth is not accidental. It is created through intention, and intention requires clarity. The wealthy are not lucky. They are clear. And if you want to join them, you must make money clarity your daily habit. Money loves clarity. Give it clarity, and it will give you freedom. Chapter 5. Play the long game, not the quick win. If you want to build real wealth, you have to embrace one truth. Wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It is built brick by brick, decision by decision, day after day. Most people lose this game because they are too focused on the quick win. They chase the shortcut, the overnight success, the magic investment that will double their money in a week. They want results now, and when they don't see them, they quit or switch to the next shiny distraction. That is why they stay broke, tired, and frustrated. Wealthy people, on the other hand, think differently. They play the long game. They know that success may not show up tomorrow, but it will come if they plant the right seeds today and nurture them over time. Think about nature. You don't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You water it, protect it, give it sunlight, and wait patiently. Over time, the seed becomes a sprout, then a plant, and eventually a strong tree that produces fruit year after year. Money works the same way. The investments, habits, and choices you make today are seeds. If you are patient and disciplined, those seeds grow into financial freedom. But if you keep digging up the soil to check if the seed has sprouted, or if you abandon the field halfway through, you never see the harvest. The world today is addicted to speed, fast food, fast internet, instant gratification. But wealth does not bend to impatience. Quick wins often turn into quick losses. How many people jump into risky schemes, gambling, or get-rich-quick scams, only to lose everything? They want the prize without the process. Wealthy people understand that real rewards come from consistency over time. They are willing to wait because they know patience multiplies results. Playing the long game starts with your mindset. You have to shift from thinking about short-term comfort to long-term growth. Most people avoid discomfort today, and that is why they suffer tomorrow. Wealthy people accept short-term discipline, sacrifice, and effort because they know it leads to long-term freedom. It's the difference between eating junk food today or staying healthy for decades, between spending impulsively today or building wealth for generations. One of the most powerful principles in the long game is compound growth. Compounding is the magic that happens when your money, your skills, or your habits build on themselves over time. For example, if you invest money and reinvest the returns, your wealth grows exponentially. If you read every day for years, your knowledge compounds. If you exercise consistently, your health compounds. The results in the beginning are small, almost invisible, but over time they explode into massive success. Most people quit before compounding has a chance to work. Wealthy people stay in the game long enough to let compounding do its work. Let's be clear. Playing the long game does not mean being passive. It does not mean sitting back and waiting forever. It means building strategies that take time to pay off and sticking to them with discipline. For example, saving consistently every month, investing in real estate or stocks with a long horizon, starting a business and growing it steadily, or developing a valuable skill set. These strategies may not make you rich tomorrow, but over 5, 10, or 20 years, they create wealth that lasts. Quick wins, on the other hand, often backfire. Look at lottery winners. Many of them lose everything within a few years because they were never playing the long game. They got a quick pile of money, but lacked the mindset, habits, and clarity to manage it. Compare that to self-made millionaires who took years to build businesses, investments, and habits. They not only earn wealth but also keep and grow it. The process itself makes them capable of sustaining success. Another reason the long game matters is resilience. Life is unpredictable. Markets crash, jobs disappear, businesses face setbacks. If you are focused only on quick wins, one setback can destroy you. But if you are playing the long game, setbacks are just part of the journey. Wealthy people don't panic when challenges hit. They zoom out, remember their vision, and keep moving forward. They know that over the long term, the trend is upward if they keep planting and nurturing seeds. Playing the long game also builds character. When you commit to years of growth, you become patient, disciplined, and strategic. These qualities not only make you wealthy, but also give you a richer life in every sense. The quick win mindset breeds desperation and impulsiveness. The long game mindset breeds calm confidence. Think of your career. Many people chase the job with the highest immediate salary. Wealthy people often think differently. They may choose opportunities that build skills, connections, and long-term potential, even if the pay today is smaller. They know that short-term sacrifice creates long-term leverage. Over time, their career skyrockets because they invested in the long game of growth. The same applies to business. Most businesses don't explode in year one. It takes years of learning, testing, failing, and improving. If you chase quick profits, you quit when the first obstacle shows up. But if you commit to the long game, you adapt, improve, and eventually succeed. Almost every overnight success you've heard of actually took years of quiet, persistent work before the world noticed. Let's talk about lifestyle. Playing the long game also means avoiding lifestyle inflation. Many people increase their spending the moment they earn more. They buy bigger houses, fancier cars, and more stuff, keeping themselves trapped in the cycle of working just to pay for their lifestyle. Wealthy people resist that temptation. They may live below their means for years, investing the difference so that later they can live with true freedom. They understand that temporary restraint creates permanent abundance. Patience is not just about waiting. It is about what you do while you wait. Wealthy people use the waiting period to keep learning, keep improving, keep stacking small wins. They don't complain about slow progress. They celebrate consistency. They know every brick laid today makes the wall stronger tomorrow. Let's get practical. How can you play the long game with your money and life? First, create a long-term vision. Where do you want to be in 10, 20, or 30 years? How much do you want to earn, save, invest, and give? Paint a clear picture. Second, align your daily actions with that vision. Save consistently, invest regularly, and avoid unnecessary risks. Third, resist the temptation of quick wins. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Fourth, track your progress, but judge yourself by decades, not days. Fifth, celebrate patience. Remind yourself that slow progress is still progress. Another way to build the long game mindset is to surround yourself with long-term thinkers. If your friends are obsessed with quick wins, you will be tempted to follow them. But if you spend time with people who value patience, consistency, and growth, you will stay committed. Wealthy people often network with others who understand the long game. Together they build momentum that lasts. There's also a spiritual side to playing the long game. When you focus only on quick wins, you often feel restless, greedy, and anxious. When you commit to the long game, you feel grounded. You trust the process. You know success is inevitable if you stay consistent. This peace of mind is itself a form of wealth. Here's the truth. The quick win is seductive but shallow. The long game is slower but far more rewarding. One gives you temporary excitement, the other gives you lasting freedom. Which do you want? Most people never ask themselves this question. They run after the thrill of quick wins until years pass and they have nothing to show for it. Wealthy people ask, decide, and commit. They choose the long game every time. So if you are serious about building wealth, stop chasing shortcuts. Stop jumping from one scheme to another. Stop expecting instant results. Instead, plant seeds, build systems, stay consistent, give compounding the time it needs to work, Embrace patience as your greatest ally, because in the end, the difference between the rich and the broke is not luck. It's perspective. The broke think in days and weeks. The wealthy think in years and decades. The broke chase quick wins. The wealthy play the long game. And if you want to join them, you must too. Play the long game, and you will win the only game that truly matters, the game of freedom, abundance, and lasting success. Chapter 6. Network like your future depends on it. If you want to understand one of the greatest secrets of wealthy people, here it is. They know that success is never a solo game. It is a team sport. No matter how smart, disciplined, or talented you are, there's a ceiling to what you can achieve alone. But when you tap into the power of the right network, that ceiling disappears. Suddenly, doors open that you didn't even know existed. Opportunities find you instead of you chasing them. And your future expands because of the people you surround yourself with. Most people underestimate the role of relationships in wealth. They think it's all about working harder, being smarter, or saving more. But here's the truth. One introduction can change your entire life. One conversation can shift your mindset forever. One mentor can save you years of mistakes. One partnership can multiply your results beyond what you could do alone. Wealthy people understand this, and that's why they take networking as seriously as investing money. Networking is not just about collecting business cards or adding random contacts on social media. Real networking is about building genuine, lasting relationships that create mutual value. It's about showing up, giving first, and being someone others want to connect with. Too many people make networking about, what can I get? Wealthy people flip the script and ask, how can I give? How can I add value? How can I help this person succeed? That mindset is magnetic, and it draws the right people into their circle. Think about it. If your future really depends on your network, what kind of effort should you be putting into it? The same level of effort you put into building your career, your business, or your investments. Because the truth is, opportunities travel through people. Jobs don't just appear. They're recommended by someone. Investments don't just land in your lap. They're introduced by someone. Clients don't magically show up. They're referred by someone. The wealthiest people don't leave this to chance. They intentionally build and nurture their networks. But here's the challenge. Networking takes time, patience, and authenticity. You can't fake it. People can feel when you're only connecting for selfish reasons. Real networking is about caring enough to build trust. It's about playing the long game with relationships, not trying to get a quick win. The wealthy know that relationships are like bank accounts. You have to deposit value before you withdraw anything. One of the biggest mistakes people make is only networking when they need something. That's desperation networking, and it rarely works. Wealthy people do the opposite. They build relationships when they don't need anything, so when the time comes, the trust and goodwill are already there. They plant seeds in advance, knowing some will bloom into opportunities years later. Let's break it down further. First, networking starts with your mindset. You have to believe that the right people can transform your future and that you can add value to them as well. You also need to shift from thinking of networking as transactional to thinking of it as transformational. It's not about trading favors. It's about building connections that elevate everyone involved. Second, you need to position yourself in the right places. Wealthy people are intentional about where they spend their time. They go to events, conferences, mastermind groups, and circles where growth-minded people gather. They invest money and energy into being around those who inspire and challenge them. If your current environment is filled with negativity, gossip, and small thinking, you won't grow. You need to deliberately place yourself in rooms where the conversations are about ideas, opportunities, and vision. Third, networking is about listening more than talking. Too many people go into conversations trying to impress. Wealthy people listen carefully. They ask questions. They find out what the other person cares about, what their challenges are, what their goals are. Then they look for ways to add value, whether through advice, introductions, or resources. This creates trust and makes the other person feel seen and valued. Fourth, consistency matters. Networking is not about meeting someone once and forgetting about them. Wealthy people stay in touch. They follow up. They send a message, share an article, congratulate on wins, or check in regularly. They don't do it to manipulate. They do it because they genuinely care. Over time, these small gestures add up to strong bonds. Think about history's most successful individuals. Behind every one of them is a network. Henry Ford had Thomas Edison. Bill Gates had Paul Allen. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak. Oprah Winfrey had mentors who guided her path. None of them did it alone. Their network fueled their growth, sharpened their vision, and opened doors they couldn't have opened on their own. Let's address a common fear. What if you're introverted or shy? Networking doesn't mean you have to be the loudest person in the room. It means being authentic and intentional. Sometimes the quietest person who listens deeply builds the strongest connections. Networking is not about personality, it's about presence. Show up with genuine interest, and you'll stand out more than someone who talks endlessly about themselves. Another misconception is that networking is about connecting with important or famous people. Wealthy people know that value exists everywhere. The assistant you meet today might be a CEO in 10 years. The colleague you help today might refer you to an opportunity tomorrow. Treat every connection with respect. Never underestimate anyone. One powerful habit wealthy people practice is networking upward and sideways. They connect with mentors and leaders who can guide them, but they also connect with peers who are on the same journey. Both are valuable. Mentors provide wisdom. Peers provide collaboration and accountability. Together, they create a support system that fuels long-term success. Networking also requires you to become someone worth connecting with. Wealthy people work on themselves constantly, so they bring value to the table. They build skills, cultivate character, and create results. This makes them attractive to others. Nobody wants to connect deeply with someone who only takes and never gives. The more you grow yourself, the more you naturally expand your network. Let's talk about generosity. Wealthy people give without keeping score. They introduce people, share resources, and create opportunities without expecting immediate returns. They understand the law of reciprocity. What you give comes back to you, often in bigger and unexpected ways. Giving creates trust, and trust creates opportunities. Now, let's consider the cost of not networking. If you isolate yourself, rely only on your own knowledge, and never build relationships, you limit your future. You might work harder and harder, but never break through. Opportunities will pass by because you weren't in the right conversations. Wealth is not just about money, it's about access. And access comes from people. Networking also accelerates learning. When you connect with others, you gain access to their experiences, mistakes, and insights. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. A single conversation can save you years of trial and error. Wealthy people know that knowledge is leveraged best through relationships. Let's get practical. How do you actually build a powerful network? Start small. Make it a habit to connect with new people consistently. Whether through events, communities, or online platforms. Follow up with those you meet. Offer value immediately. Share a resource, introduce them to someone, or simply express genuine appreciation. Keep notes on what matters to them so you can reconnect meaningfully later. Next, build your personal brand. People are more likely to connect with you if they see you as credible and authentic. Share your journey, your expertise, and your values. Let people know what you stand for. Wealthy people cultivate reputations that attract opportunities. Also, be intentional about who you let into your inner circle. Not every connection deserves deep energy. Some people drain, distract, or derail you. Wealthy people are selective. They protect their time and energy by focusing on relationships that align with their vision and values. Another tip: Create environments that attract people to you. Host dinners, organize meetups, or start a mastermind group. Don't just look for networks to join, create your own. This positions you as a connector and a leader, which naturally expands your influence. Remember, networking is not a one-time event, it's a lifestyle. Wealthy people integrate networking into their daily lives. They see every interaction as a chance to build relationships, whether at a conference, in an elevator, or at a coffee shop. They know that the right person could be anywhere. Ultimately, networking, like your future depends on, it is about taking relationships seriously. It's about realizing that your net worth truly is connected to your network. It's about being intentional, generous, and consistent. The wealth you build will often come not just from what you know or do, but from who you know and how you nurture those relationships. So ask yourself, who are you surrounding yourself with? Who is in your circle? Are they pushing you forward or pulling you back? Are you intentionally building relationships that align with the future you want? If not, it's time to start today. Because here's the reality, your future does depend on it. Every connection is a seed. Some seeds bloom immediately, others take years, but all of them add to the richness of your journey. Wealthy people plant those seeds daily. They invest in people as much as they invest in assets. They understand that the right network multiplies everything: opportunities, wealth, and impact. Your future self is waiting for you to expand your network today. Don't hold back. Start reaching out, giving value, and building bridges. Play the long game with relationships, and watch how doors open, opportunities multiply, and your vision becomes reality. Chapter 7. Stay hungry, stay humble. There's a dangerous trap that many people fall into the moment they start seeing success. It's the illusion that they've made it. They land a good job, earn a decent income, maybe even hit a financial milestone they once dreamed of, and suddenly they relax. They stop pushing, they stop learning, and they stop chasing bigger dreams. Comfort sets in, and over time that comfort kills growth. The wealthy, however, know a powerful secret. No matter how much you achieve, you have to stay hungry and stay humble. Staying hungry means never losing that fire inside you. It means keeping the same energy, curiosity, and drive you had at the beginning of your journey, even when you've already achieved more than most people around you. Staying humble means never letting success inflate your ego. It means remembering where you came from, respecting others regardless of status, and understanding that there's always more to learn. Together, hunger and humility create a balance that keeps wealthy people climbing higher while staying grounded. Let's break it down. Hunger is about forward motion. It's the refusal to settle for good enough. Wealthy people know that growth is a lifelong process. The moment you stop stretching, you start shrinking. Hunger keeps you focused on the next level, the next challenge, the next mountain to climb. It's not greed, it's ambition rooted in a desire to maximize potential. Humility, on the other hand, is about perspective. It keeps you connected to reality. It reminds you that no matter how much you achieve, there are always bigger players, smarter minds, and deeper lessons. Humility prevents arrogance from blinding you to opportunities. It keeps your relationships strong because people trust and respect someone who stays grounded. If you look at the most successful leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries, you'll notice this pattern. They are insatiably curious, always learning, always improving. But at the same time, they treat people with respect. They acknowledge the contributions of others, and they never act as though they know it all. That's the formula that allows them to keep climbing without falling victim to pride. Now let's talk about why hunger is so important. The world is constantly changing. Industries evolve, markets shift, and new technologies disrupt the old. If you stop learning, stop adapting, or stop pushing yourself, you will be left behind. Hunger keeps you sharp. It forces you to keep reinventing yourself, to stay relevant, and to keep creating value. Think about athletes. The ones who dominate their sport are not just talented, they are the hungriest. Even after winning championships, They train as if they're still the underdog. They know that yesterday's victory doesn't guarantee tomorrow's success. Wealth works the same way. Your past achievements don't guarantee future security. Hunger keeps you striving, training, and preparing for the next level. But hunger alone can be dangerous if it's not balanced by humility. Hunger without humility can lead to arrogance, greed, and burnout. It can make you believe you're invincible, and that's when mistakes happen. Humility keeps you grounded. It reminds you to listen to feedback, to keep learning, and to never underestimate challenges. It helps you build stronger relationships because nobody wants to work with someone who thinks they're above everyone else. Wealthy people understand this balance. They celebrate their wins, but don't let those wins define them. They keep setting new goals, but remain open to advice and mentorship. They stay focused on growth, but never forget the importance of gratitude and respect. This combination makes them unstoppable. Let's dive into some practical ways to stay hungry. First, set new challenges constantly. The moment you achieve a goal, celebrate it. Then immediately ask, what's next? Don't let yourself get too comfortable. The wealthy know that comfort zones are dangerous. They seek discomfort because discomfort is where growth happens. Second, feed your curiosity. Read, study, ask questions, and explore new areas. Hunger is not just about money, it's about growth in every area of life. Wealthy people are obsessed with learning. They know that every book, course, or mentor could contain the idea or strategy that takes them to the next level. Third, surround yourself with people who challenge you. If you're always the smartest or most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Hunger thrives when you're around people who inspire you, push you, and show you what's possible. Wealthy people deliberately seek out these environments to keep their fire alive. Now let's talk about staying humble. First, practice gratitude daily. No matter how much you achieve, take time to remember how far you've come and who helped you along the way. Gratitude keeps you grounded. It shifts your focus from entitlement to appreciation. Second, listen more than you speak. Humble people know they don't have all the answers. They listen to others, value their perspectives, and learn from everyone. This not only makes you wiser, but also makes people respect you more. Third, remember that success is temporary if you don't maintain it. Humility is acknowledging that what you've built can vanish if you stop caring for it. This awareness keeps you responsible and disciplined. Fourth, treat everyone with respect. Wealthy people who stay humble understand that every person has value, regardless of their status. They know that arrogance burns bridges, while humility builds them. The wealthiest individuals often go out of their way to show kindness because they understand the long-term power of relationships. Let's look at some real-world examples. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, still lives in the same modest house he bought decades ago. Despite his wealth, he remains grounded, approachable, and humble. At the same time, he is endlessly hungry for knowledge. He spends hours every day reading, studying, and learning. That's why he's not just wealthy, but consistently wealthy across decades. Another example is Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, you can't deny his hunger. He pushes boundaries constantly, from electric cars to space exploration. Despite enormous success, he works tirelessly and keeps asking, what's next? While his humility is sometimes debated, the principle of balancing ambition with acknowledgement of risks and challenges is clear in his work. On the other hand, history is full of stories where people lost everything because they abandoned humility. They let ego control them, stopped listening to advice, or thought they were untouchable. Arrogance blinds, but humility sharpens. So how do you balance hunger and humility in your daily life? Start by writing down goals that scare you, goals that stretch you beyond your current level. That's your hunger. Then write down reminders of where you came from, who supported you, and what values you stand for. That's your humility. Revisit both regularly to stay balanced. Another powerful practice is to mentor others. When you're hungry, you're always learning for yourself. When you're humble, you share that knowledge to lift others. Mentoring keeps your ego in check while keeping your growth sharp. Wealthy people understand that giving back is not just noble, it's also a way to keep themselves grounded and connected. Remember this: hunger without humility makes you reckless. Humility without hunger makes you stagnant. But hunger and humility together make you unstoppable. That's why wealthy people guard these traits fiercely. They know that the journey never ends. There's always another level of success, another lesson to learn, another person to help. Let's talk about what happens when you truly embody both. You become magnetic. People are drawn to your ambition because it inspires them, but they also trust you because you remain humble. This combination makes you a leader others want to follow, a partner others want to work with, and a friend others value deeply. Staying hungry and humble also ensures long-term wealth. Short-term success can come from luck or timing, but sustained success comes from mindset. Hunger keeps you pushing, and humility keeps you learning. Together, they make your success sustainable across decades, not just years. In the end, wealth is not just about money, it's about the person you become in the process. Staying hungry ensures you keep evolving. Staying humble ensures you stay grounded in values. That's the true wealth wealthy people chase, the wealth of character, growth, and impact. So ask yourself, are you still hungry? Or have you let comfort slow you down? Are you still humble? Or have you let success inflate your ego? These are questions wealthy people ask themselves constantly. They never let themselves forget the power of hunger and humility. Because the truth is, life is a journey, not a destination. Success is not a finish line. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you start declining. Stay hungry, stay humble, and you'll never stop growing. You'll keep climbing, keep learning, and keep creating wealth that lasts. Your future depends on this balance. Protect your hunger, protect your humility. Together, they will keep you moving forward while keeping you grounded. That's the mindset of the truly wealthy, and it's available to anyone willing to live it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. It really helps me create more content for you. Thank you.